Neutrality of money, the monetary veil. In the realm of macroeconomics, the neutrality of money posits that alterations in the nominal money supply exert no lasting influence on the real variables of an economy. These real variables encompass fundamental aspects such as aggregate output, real GDP, employment levels, real interest rates, and the actual consumption of goods and services. Instead, changes in the money supply manifest primarily in adjustments to nominal variables, including the overall price level, nominal wages, and nominal exchange rates. Think of money as a veil draped over the real economy. When the central bank injects more money into the system, this action primarily inflates the nominal values within the economy. Everything becomes more expensive in monetary terms. However, the underlying productive capacity, the efficiency of resource allocation, and the fundamental desires and needs of the population remain unchanged in the long run due to this monetary expansion alone. The size of the economic pie, real GDP, doesn't inherently grow or shrink, simply because there are more monetary units chasing the same amount of goods and services. While many economists acknowledge that money might not be entirely neutral in the short run due to factors like sticky prices and wages, where adjustments to price changes take time, the prevailing consensus in classical and many modern macroeconomic models is that in the long run, after all adjustments have taken place, money's influence is largely confined to the nominal sphere. Classical dichotomy, separating the real and nominal spheres. The classical dichotomy represents a foundational principle in classical economic thought, asserting a fundamental separability between the real and nominal sectors of the economy. This concept suggests that real variables are primarily determined by real factors such as technology, the availability of resources, labor, capital, land, and the preferences of economic agents. Conversely, nominal variables are predominantly influenced by monetary factors, most notably the supply of money and monetary policy. Imagine the economy as having two distinct compartments. The real compartment deals with the actual production, consumption, and allocation of goods and services. Its workings are governed by fundamental economic forces. The nominal compartment deals with the monetary values assigned to these real activities. The classical dichotomy argues that, in the long run, what happens in the nominal compartment, e.g., changes in the money supply, does not fundamentally alter the outcomes in the real compartment. This dichotomy implies that monetary policy, while potent in influencing the price level and inflation, is not an effective tool for permanently boosting real economic growth or employment in the long run. Fiscal policy and structural reforms targeting real factors are considered more pertinent for affecting long-term real economic outcomes within this framework. Money illusion. The nominal trap. Money illusion, or price illusion, is a cognitive bias that leads economic agents, individuals, firms, to make decisions based on nominal values rather than real values, often overlooking the impact of inflation. This means people tend to focus on the face value of money, e.g., their nominal wage, without fully accounting for changes in the purchasing power of that money due to price level changes. Consider an individual who receives a 5% increase in their nominal salary. If inflation is also running at 5%, their real wage, what they can actually buy, has remained unchanged. However, due to money illusion, they might perceive themselves as being better off simply because their paycheck is larger in nominal terms. Money illusion can have significant macroeconomic implications, particularly in the short run. For instance, it might lead to a slower adjustment of wages and prices to inflationary pressures, as individuals and firms react to nominal changes rather than real changes in their economic well-being. This can create temporary deviations from the predictions of monetary neutrality. Neutrality of money versus classical dichotomy versus money illusion, a tabular summary. Feature: neutrality of money. Classical dichotomy. Money illusion, core idea. Changes in money supply affect only nominal variables in the long run. Real and nominal variables are determined separately and are independent in the long run. Economic agents focus on nominal values, potentially ignoring real, inflation-adjusted values. Scope focuses specifically on the impact of money supply changes, a broader principle about the separation of real and nominal economic spheres, a behavioral phenomenon describing a cognitive bias in economic decision-making. Relationship, a consequence of the classical dichotomy, holding in the long run, provides the theoretical foundation for the long-run neutrality of money, a behavioral factor that can lead to deviations from the predictions of both. Time horizon, primarily a long-run concept, though short-run non-neutralities are acknowledged. Primarily a long-run concept, can influence behavior in both the short and long run, though its impact might diminish over time with learning. Example, doubling the money supply leads to a doubling of prices but no change in real GDP. Real GDP determined by technology and resources. Price level determined by money supply. Individuals feel wealthier with a nominal wage increase, even if real wages are stagnant due to inflation. Macroeconomic implication. Monetary policy is ineffective in influencing long-run real economic growth. Monetary policy primarily affects inflation. Fiscal policy and real factors drive real outcomes, can lead to sticky prices and wages, affecting the short-run impact of monetary policy. In essence, the classical dichotomy provides the theoretical framework for understanding why, in the long run, money might be neutral. Money illusion, however, highlights a behavioral reality that can complicate this picture, particularly in the short run, by influencing how economic agents perceive and react to nominal changes, potentially leading to deviations from the predictions of both concepts. Understanding these distinctions is crucial for navigating the complexities of macroeconomic analysis and policy formulation.